Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly, literally mind-bending. You know, when we look up at the night sky, it's so easy to feel incredibly small. But honestly, nothing prepares you for the sheer, bizarre scale of the universe's galaxies. Together, we're going to break down the incredible architecture of the cosmos. And I promise you, by the time we're finished today, you might never look at the night sky the exact same way again.
So, let me just ask you a question right off the bat. Think you know what a galaxy looks like? If I asked you to picture one in your head right this second, I bet you'd imagine this stunning, majestic pinwheel of stars just sort of slowly spinning in the dark, right? A standard spiral galaxy. But I'm here to tell you that this classic image, it's really just the tip of the cosmic iceberg. We need to completely challenge those preconceived notions today, because perfectly shaped spirals, they don't even begin to tell the real story of what's actually out there.
Because from invisible ghosts to literal cosmic cannibals, the universe is far, far stranger than you think. Let's get into it.
Section 1, Familiar and the Phantoms. We're going to start small.
Meet the Dwarf Galaxy. These are basically the small, foundational building blocks of the universe. When we talk about dwarf galaxies, we're looking at ancient, tiny starting points. They don't have those grand, sweeping arms of the giant galaxies we usually picture. Actually, they're often faint, kind of irregular, and packed with older stars. But here's the thing, without these little guys, the larger cosmic structures we know and love would absolutely never have had the materials to eventually grow. They are, quite literally, the seeds of the universe. So how does that build into something a bit more recognizable? Well, let's compare the classic spiral galaxy against what's called a barred spiral. Picture that majestic pinwheel on one hand. But on the other, notice that distinct, glowing straight line cutting right through the center. That right there is the central bar structure, and it completely defines a barred spiral galaxy. It acts kind of like a giant cosmic funnel, drawing gas and dust right into the heart of the galaxy to feed massive new star formation. It's a brilliant structural difference that absolutely changes how a galaxy evolves over time.
But, you know, not everything out there is bright and glowing. Consider something truly haunting, the Ghost Galaxy. This is a galaxy so incredibly empty you could stare straight through it. Why? Because it's made almost entirely of invisible material. Specifically, dark matter. There are so few actual stars in these phantom structures that to our telescopes they are incredibly difficult to even spot. It's just a massive swirling structure of something no one has ever actually seen with their own eyes. It just hangs there in the dark, invisibly warping the space around it. Mind-blowing, right? Which brings us to Section 2, the Cosmic Graveyard. Let's look at what happens when things go completely catastrophically wrong. We're looking at two incredibly tragic ends for a galaxy here. On one side, you've got the dead galaxy. A dead galaxy is one that has completely and quietly just ceased star formation altogether. Its gas is either gone entirely or it's just too hot to condense, so no new stars will ever be born there again. It just slowly, quietly fades as its remaining stars burn out over billions of years. But on the other side, we have the broken galaxy. And this is not a quiet fade into the dark. No, a broken galaxy has been structurally ruined by immense external cosmic forces. Its shape is totally distorted, its core is shattered, and it's basically been left mangled in the void.
All right, Section 3, Violence in the Void. Welcome to the cosmic true crime scene.
Let's walk through the incredibly violent progression of colliding galaxies. It happens in 3 steps. Step 1 is the approach. Imagine 2 colossal structures drawn together by unstoppable gravity over millions and millions of years. Then, step 2 is the tear. As they finally crash into each other, immense gravitational tides literally rip them open, bleeding this magnificent, chaotic trail of stolen material, gas, dust, stars just dragged all across the sky. And finally, step 3 is the aftermath, where they eventually settle and merge into a completely new, often completely unrecognizable, chaotic shape. But sometimes, it's not a collision of equals. Sometimes, it's a cosmic feast. Enter the Cannibal Galaxy. This is a massive galaxy that tears apart and entirely consumes smaller neighboring galaxies. The bigger galaxy essentially swallows the smaller one whole, just to fuel its own growth. Now, if you think this sounds like something far away and totally disconnected from us, I've got a chilling fact to drop on you. Our very own Milky Way? It's a cannibal galaxy. Yeah. As we speak, our galaxy is currently tearing dwarf galaxies to pieces and consuming them. We are literally the monster in someone else's sky. So, with all that absolute destruction in mind, let me ask you this. What happens when a galaxy is shot clean through the heart?
Imagine a collision so incredibly fast, so impossibly precise, that one galaxy acts like a bullet, passing directly through the core of another.
Well, here is the incredible answer. It's called the bullet hole galaxy. And this isn't just an astronomical object. It is one of the most unbelievable survivors in the entire universe. It was pierced straight through the center. But instead of being utterly destroyed or broken apart, the immense shockwave of that collision actually compressed its inner gases. The galaxy survived. And from that catastrophic piercing, it bloomed. It exploded with massive waves of brilliant, brand new star formation. It literally took a bullet and turned it into life. How amazing is that?
Moving on to Section 4, the extremes. Let's look at the absolute most volatile outliers out there. These galaxies are essentially redlining the laws of physics. First up, the monster galaxy. Structures so unimaginably massive and dense they honestly defy our current models of how early galaxies could even form in the first place. Next, you have the fire galaxy, just blazing and churning out new stars at an incredibly rapid, furious pace. Then there are the cosmic lighthouses, galaxies with active cores so insanely bright they literally blind our instruments, shining all the way across the observable universe. And finally, the jet galaxy. This is a structure where unbelievable amounts of energy are focused and fired out of a single central supermassive black hole, blasting a continuous beam of intense radiation deep, deep into the dark.
Section 5, the macroverse. We are zooming all the way out to the largest scales imaginable.
You see, galaxies do not just float out there alone in the void. They group together into what we can really think of as colossal galaxy cities. These are massive, clustered hubs of hundreds, sometimes even thousands of galaxies, all gravitationally bound together. Just like people gather in towns and sprawling metropolises, galaxies gather in these massive, glowing clusters. They share their gravitational influence, drifting through space together as one colossal neighborhood. But wait, if you zoom out even further than that, you find the largest structure that exists anywhere, the cosmic web. I really want to drive home the mind-boggling scale of this thing. When you look at the universe as a whole, it isn't just random disconnected dots of light. Those galaxy cities, they're connected by incredibly long, sprawling filaments of dark matter and gas. It forms a literal web, a massive, intricate network connecting absolutely everything in the universe. It is the grand architecture of reality itself.
We've gone all the way from tiny dwarf building blocks to a cosmic web that stretches across eternity. We've seen invisible ghosts, cosmic cannibals, and incredible survivors. But I want to leave you with this one thought. If this is what we know, what else is hiding out there in the dark? The universe is vast, it's mostly unexplored, and it is undeniably strange. So keep looking up and never lose your sense of wonder for the absolute extremes of the cosmos. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer.